Manchester United are approaching a defining moment in their rebuild. Casemiro's contract expiring at the end of the season doesn't just signal the departure of a player. It marks the closing of a chapter built on short-term fixes and emergency solutions. When Casemiro arrived, United needed authority, leadership, and instant stability. He delivered that in his first season. But football never waits, and the Premier League in particular punishes midfielders who can't sustain intensity week after week. Casemiro's decline hasn't been about effort or mentality. It's been about evolution. The modern game demands midfielders who can defend large spaces, recover quickly in transition, resist intense pressing, and still contribute in possession. United's biggest problem in recent years hasn't been talent. It's been structure. Too often, the midfield has looked stretched, reactive, and disconnected from both defense and attack. Replacing Casemiro is not about finding a like-for-like destroyer. It's about redefining what Manchester United want to be. Do they want to dominate physically, control possession, or finally find balance? The answer lies in three standout candidates: Carlos Baleba, Elliot Anderson, and Adam Wharton. Carlos Baleba represents power, aggression, and the future of Premier League midfielders. At Brighton, he has been developed in one of the most tactically demanding environments in England. Brighton midfielders aren't allowed to hide. They must press, recover, build play, and handle pressure constantly. And Baleba has thrived in that environment. Physically, Baleba is elite. He's strong in duels, explosive over short distances, and relentless when closing opponents down. This is crucial for a Manchester United side that has been repeatedly exposed when games become open. Baleba doesn't wait for danger. He attacks it. He steps high to intercept passes, forces turnovers, and immediately turns defense into attack. One of Baleba's most underrated qualities is his ability to carry the ball under pressure. When opponents press United's midfield, panic often sets in. Baleba offers the opposite. He uses his strength to shield the ball, roll opponents, and surge forward, breaking lines with direct running. That ability alone would completely change United's transitional play, allowing them to move up the pitch as a unit rather than in disconnected bursts. Defensively, Baleba would allow United to compress the pitch. His recovery pace means fullbacks could push higher without fear. Centre-backs wouldn't be dragged out constantly. The entire defensive structure would become more compact. While he is still learning positional discipline, that can be coached. What cannot be coached is intensity. And Baleba has that naturally. Mentally, Baleba plays with confidence and bravery. He doesn't shrink in big moments. That personality fits Manchester United's need for midfielders who don't hide when the game turns chaotic. Over time, Baleba could become the emotional heartbeat of the team, the player who sets the tempo through aggression and presence. Elliot Anderson, on the other hand, represents balance and intelligence rather than dominance. He is the type of midfielder every successful team needs, but often doesn't get the headlines. Anderson understands space. He understands timing. He understands when to press and when to hold position. Anderson's work rate is elite. He covers ground relentlessly, helping out wide areas, dropping into defensive zones, and supporting attacks with late runs. For United, this would be transformative. Too often, the team has relied on individuals rather than collective movement. Anderson brings cohesion. Defensively, Anderson is positionally sound. He doesn't rely on physicality alone. He anticipates passes, blocks lanes, and forces opponents into uncomfortable decisions. This kind of defensive intelligence reduces the burden on center-backs and prevents situations from becoming emergencies. On the ball, Anderson is efficient. He keeps possession moving, links play between midfield and attack, and knows when to slow the game down. He doesn't overcomplicate things, and that simplicity is exactly what United have lacked. In matches where United lose control emotionally, Anderson's calm decision-making would be invaluable. What truly elevates Anderson is his tactical versatility. He can play alongside a deeper midfielder, operate higher up as an 8, or even drift wide to support pressing traps. In a squad that has struggled with tactical consistency, having a player who can adapt to multiple systems gives managers flexibility without sacrificing stability. Anderson would not replace Casemiro as a destroyer. he would replace him as a stabilizer. He would make United harder to play against, more compact, and more reliable across a long season. Adam Wharton is the most stylistically transformative option of the three. He represents control, composure, and intelligence, qualities that defined United's best teams in the past. Wharton is a midfielder who thinks ahead of the game. He scans constantly, positions himself intelligently, and always offers an outlet. In possession, Wharton would immediately improve United's build-up play. He receives the ball under pressure without panic, uses his first touch to escape pressing traps, and distributes with precision. His passing range allows United to stretch opponents horizontally and vertically, something they currently struggle to do consistently. Wharton's understanding of tempo is what sets him apart. He knows when to accelerate play and when to slow it down. This is crucial for a team that often plays at one speed: chaos. Wharton introduces control. With him in midfield, United could dictate matches rather than react to them. Defensively, Wharton relies on intelligence rather than physical dominance. He intercepts passes, reads danger early, and positions himself to cut off transitions before they develop. While he may not win as many tackles as Baleba, he prevents situations from becoming dangerous in the first place. To get the best out of Wharton, United would need to pair him with an athletic partner. With protection around him, Wharton could flourish as the deep orchestrator, the player who dictates rhythm and structure. In many ways, he would represent a return to midfield control that United have lacked since their most dominant eras. When comparing these three players, the decision becomes philosophical. Baleba brings intensity and physical dominance. Anderson brings balance and tactical discipline. Wharton brings control and intelligence. Casemiro's exit is not a loss to fear. It's an opportunity. United are no longer forced to rely on aging solutions. They can now build a midfield that reflects the modern game and their long-term ambitions. The next midfielder they sign will define how Manchester United play for years to come. Whether they choose power, balance, or control, this decision will shape their identity. And in a league as unforgiving as the Premier League, getting it right could be the difference between constant rebuilding and genuine resurgence.